Welcome to a special 30th anniversary and reunion show edition of Coach's Corner live from Kelly's Riverside Saloon on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's multimedia simulcast is being sponsored by Kelly's Riverside Saloon, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Ambridge Italian Villa, CCBC, Gazzetti Optometric Service, the Grand Valley Inn, and the Beaver Valley Auto Mall. Now, let's relive 3 decades of memories with show host, Beaver County Radio sports anchor and Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame member Bob Barrickman. It's the Coach's Corner 30th anniversary and reunion show live from the outdoor stage at Kelly's Riverside Saloon in Bridgewater.
And a pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the state championship party here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP, WMBA, 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, and Bruce Fry, along with myself, Bob Barrickman. Bruce, we have celebrated a lot of state championships here at Roberts Roadside Inn, who's been the longtime champion of the Wings. But never have we broadcasted a Coach's Corner where 2 state champions in football came here in the same season. But we have that thanks to what Aliquippa did last Thursday night and what Central Valley did last Saturday afternoon. They are state champions, Central Valley going back-to-back, and Aliquippa winning a championship 3 classes above their enrollment. Bruce, it was a special weekend in the land of chocolates, the sweetest town on earth.
Right. I know I still have a hangover from being up there last weekend, let alone these young men. I'm sure they do also. But we're very proud, and we're just going to make sure we got enough supplies for this mob of young football players.
Well, I think we got our spread ready. Roberts Roadside Inn, they got wings and chicken and rigatoni and macaroni salad. Pizza Joe's and Beaver have delivered with 12 pizzas.
Right.
12. And who else? My Hero Sub Shop. They're heroes just like the Quips and the Warriors. Stevie Nicks over there in Rochester, My Hero Sub Shop. Thank you, guys.
They certainly delivered. And in the true sense of being here at Roberts Roadside Inn, I don't care what the temperature is, the fire is on.
The fire is on.
Coach Lyons nods his head in approval.
Oh, yeah. That fire is almost as hot as Aliquippa and Central Valley was, Bruce. And as people start filing in, nice crowd. Coaches, a lot of players from both clubs, a lot of red and black, a lot of powder and blue. So we are ready to roll. Want to thank our other panelists from the radio stations, Curtis Walsh, manning the controls, his dad Keith Walsh on the camera, along with Mark Peterson. And already we saw 2 legends get their picture taken with each other. The owner of this establishment for the 34 years that it's been open, Bob Skurlick, along with Sean Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons might win in a wing contest, but Skurlick's been a legend for even a longer time.
Oh, no doubt about it. Again, they are too. That just sets the tone for what we have going on here tonight. We're happy to be here, but we might as well shift to our coaches and give them our congratulations.
All right, we'll start it off. Vashon Patrick, one of the great assistant coaches in the WPIAA, is manning the head trust for Aliquippa. Mike Warfield not here, but Vashon is. And Vashon, you got it started Thursday night. Didn't start real well, down 13-0. What was the mood of the team after you got down by 2 touchdowns? Obviously, they overcame that deficit. Let's talk about the mood at the time, if you can remember back then.
Well, the mood of the team was we didn't blink. I mean, we knew we was going to have some bad runs. Our team just kept steady. We kept our emotions intact, and we didn't blink. We was ready.
Vashon, if anything, 3 of the last 4 weeks. You were down 14-0 to McKeesport. You were down 10-0 to Jersey Shore up at Evansburg, and then this. So if anything, you were experienced at that situation.
Yeah, I guess we play a lot better teams. I guess these last few weeks we like playing from behind. I guess a little motivation for the kids. You know, we just kept pushing.
What was the key or keys to the turnaround? What did you have on your side that maybe Bishop McDevitt didn't have on theirs?
We stayed together. Even though, you know, we had a couple bad bounces early on, we stayed together. We kept believing in each other, and we just kept pushing forward.
Particularly once you started to move the ball and pick up the first downs, I would think that would snowball your momentum, so to speak.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I guess our offensive line, they call themselves the trench dogs. They dug in. Our freshman running back, Tyquay Hayes, you know, ran behind them. Quentin Good, he threw some good balls to our receivers.
Vashon, you have to be especially proud of the running backs. That's been your bread and butter. You were a great running back for Aliquippa about 20 years ago. Boy, the freshmen came up big again. Tyquay Hayes, John Hardy came up. John Tracy, came up huge again. And that line, boy, I'll tell you, they don't get enough credit. I hope they eat a lot of food here tonight because they deserve it. What an effort. What an effort by this club. And 34 points against a Bishop McDevitt club that only gives up about 9 or 10 a game. Talk about that.
Our offensive coordinator, Sheldon Colbert, called a great game. We believed in, you know, his calls. The line dug down, and our running backs ran, our quarterbacks threw, and our receivers caught the ball. I mean, we just started hitting on all cues once we got settled into the game.
Yeah, that's for sure. One guy I thought had a really good game for you was Syer Clark. That down and out, he caught that one by the far pylon with 2 defenders on him. To me, that was probably the catch of the year in terms of going up and getting that ball from. And then he had one to the short side, to our side of the field, it wasn't such a big pass, but he ran about 25 with it also. But particularly that catch on the far pylon, that was a highlight material.
He always been Mr. Reliable. All his years he's been playing. We knew we can call on him. I guess his number was called, and he answered.
He's one of the few players, as Bruce pointed out to me, he had the roster from your 2018 team that also won the state championship under Coach Mike Warfield. And he's one of the few players who now has 2 championship rings. You don't get too many freshmen that enjoy the moment, but Syer Clark is one of them.
Yeah, it's a couple guys on that senior now that was on that freshman team, and they're a selective group because they're the only couple guys that won 2 state championships.
I think it was Thornton and Banks are the 2 main regulars.
Yeah.
From looking at the roster.
Yeah, Thornton and Clark.
Okay.
Vashon, a lot of your players are wearing family jerseys. Now, I'm sure they're probably not thinking of We Are Family, the Pirates, for probably even before your time, but it is a family. You kind of alluded to that. I asked you, what was the key thing to the turnaround? You said we stuck together. Is that what you're thinking of, family?
Yes, we rely on each other. We don't. We always picking each other up, never tearing each other down, just relying on each other and staying together through hard times. And that's what family does. Rely on each other and stick together.
Yeah, and it certainly showed. But again, it was great the way you held together, and certainly through all the trying moments near the end. You know the one we can't help but think of is the infamous PIAA punt, and the way that got called back. And that was the punt of the year for PIAA. Then all of a sudden it gets whistled back. We're still not sure why. Maybe you had a better view.
I never seen that call or heard of that call in high school football, but they made it. We didn't get down. We just stuck together, repunted the ball, and took it from there. Our defense stood in and made a stop.
Broadcasting live from Roberts Roadside Inn. We've had so many championship parties, and tonight we're celebrating 2. Aliquippa and Central Valley here at Roberts Roadside Inn, and they're really pushing their winter holiday parties. They got the great furnace and fire. Boy, I'll tell you, we are so comfortable right now. Give them a call, 724-775-0200. Get your winter party. It could be a holiday party, or it could be in the depths of January. It doesn't matter. They'll be glad to have you here.
We missed by 6 days. It's not winter till the 21st.
Oh, okay. Well, there's the the geography major or whatever he is. Let's bring in Mark Lyons, the head coach of the Central Valley Warriors. Your game went so much different than Aliquippa. They won 34-27. Mark, you probably had a good chance to win by a couple more touchdowns, but I guess Wyomissing deserves credit for keeping it close. But what an effort. I guess you have to start with your defense. This Wyomissing club averaged 44 points a game, and really they only had one good scoring opportunity, and it was a long kickoff return that set it up. Your defense, if it could do any better than it's done the last 2 years, it seemed like they really stepped up to the podium Saturday afternoon.
That is so true. I mean, I thought defensively our guys have been flying under the radar. And, we've been putting points on the board, and our offense gets all the publicity, and you're averaging 44 points a game. But our defense consistently has been our rock, our comfort zone where we have been able to shut teams down. Wyomissing, as you said, they haven't been shut out since 2017. They were averaging over 340 yards on the ground. We held them to 115 total yards, 34 in the second half. I can't speak enough about the effort our coaches did on the defensive side, and our defensive unit as a whole did.
Right. Actually, both of you guys have some amazing front threes. I don't even know which one is bigger, but yours is, I believe, Karcheski and Tanya and Fitzsimmons. They decimated the wing T, in particularly a play that did in Aliquippa back in 2012, that inside reverse with a wing back. That laid an egg versus Central Valley.
Well, that's a great point, because the one advantage I thought was pivotal for us is obviously playing them 2 years in a row. So now when we delivered the scouting report on Monday, the light bulb was brighter. They had a reference point from the year ago. That inside counter play, that little mini reverse they run, it stung us early last year. But when we explained it to our guys this year, you could see that they would reference the fact that I do remember that. I know where my eyes need to be. I know where my gap needs to be. And you saw the effort that they gave. There wasn't a play where we didn't have 4, 5, 6 Carolina hats on the ball consistently.
Mark Lyons from Central Valley, Vashawn Patrick from Aliquippa. Mark, Bob Wolfram, the longtime coach at Wyomissing, summed it up in the newspaper the next day. He said, we had plays that would go for 40 yards. Against Central Valley, it might have been 4 yards or 6 yards. Now, their strength, obviously, their running game. But that was your strength. I think that's why, a big reason why Aliquippa beat Bell Vernon, because their run defense controlled Devin Whitlock and that offense. Your defense, it was hard to pick a player of the game. When you have a Landon Alexander with 231 yards, Sean Fitzsimmons, who seems like he takes out a mortgage every week in the opposing backfield, but Jackson Tanya, we gave it to him. And but people have come up to us and said, what a game he had. It's just a special game, and you got him back next year.
Yeah, you know what? That wasn't a bad choice, your player of the game. Jackson Tanya, again, benefits from playing beside Sean Fitzsimmons, along everybody else up front. He demands so much respect from the offense that the other three can go ahead and do their things based off of a one-on-one. But, you want to talk about a guy who's progressed from his freshman to his junior year. There was a few plays that Jackson Tanya has made, and especially in a state game where, with no knock and all respect to our opponent, you know, they have a 4-star recruit over there that was getting all kind of publicity, and Jackson took it upon himself. We didn't need to give him any help. We didn't need to double him. He took it upon himself to make sure he handled him. And he's one of those guys, he's first to practice, he's last to leave the field. He talks, you know, with utmost respect for everybody. He's one of those guys in school that everybody respects him, from our faculty to the people in our community. He's just a true gentleman, and it's a guy that we love, that the fact that he's coming back for us.
Yeah, 11 tackles, I believe. And the guy you're mentioning is number 74, was 6'4", 310. And Tanya definitely did his job. Plus, on offense, he had several, in Bill Fralick terms, pancakes, where he would just knock the dude. I mean, he sent number 59 flying one time about 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Absolutely. That's something Jackson has been doing all year. And again, you know, people forget that he was an all-state offensive tackle as a sophomore. We knew we needed to fill the void at center. He's athletic. We do a lot of neat things with our center offensively. We pull him at any given time. That's asking a lot for a high school center to snap the ball and get on the edge, and he does that pretty well. He's probably the top of his game, you know, from anybody in high school, being able to do that.
Yeah, and Coach Lyons doesn't have amnesia when he talks about his center offense, not Central Valley offense. He's talking about the center of the line, not the old school district.
Mark, you have a lot to be proud of with this team. Back-to-back state championships. First time it's happened in 20 years, when Rochester did it in 1A back in 2000 and 2001. So that's quite an achievement. Your team now has the all-time Beaver County winning streak, 27 games and counting. This is a special group, and it's going to be compared to some of the great teams of all time. Aliquippa's had them. Beaver Falls has had some. Beaver. But this is a special group. Nobody's won 27 in a row, and you had to go through some very tough teams, especially Wyomissing, to keep that record alive.
Bob, you're exactly right. You know, let me first say, when you talk about 27 straight wins, you know, people look at it on the surface as 27 Friday nights winning football games. What people don't understand, that's 27 consecutive off seasons, 27 consecutive Mondays of watching film, 27 consecutive days of in the weight room, and consistently doing what you're supposed to in the classroom and on a practice field. So it's just not 27 wins Friday night. We understand that, we respect that, but there's a lot more to it below the surface that requires a special group, starting with your senior leadership and everybody buying in, and obviously our staff. You know, I'd be remiss not to mention the fact that they get these guys prepared every day, and they come with the same approach. Everybody delivers the same message, and to do that for 27 consecutive weeks over a 2-year span, you know, it's pretty special, and our players need to be commended, and our staff needs to be commended with doing that.
Yeah, well, we just found out the other day, Bob, I don't know if you saw the email, but up in Swatara, Pennsylvania, right by Hershey, Central Valley typically stays at the Red Lion Inn. They changed the name to the Red Lions Inn in honor of Mark. I mean, what flattery. That's amazing.
Did they spell it Lyons?
Yeah, absolutely. They're changing the sign this week.
I'm glad they got the spelling right. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Now I got a place to stay when I go up for meetings.
For Sean Patrick, with Mike Warfield not being here, but Mike now, you look at the history of Aliquippa football, he has 2 state championships under his watch. And I know that Mike Spianic did a tremendous job, but since they were determined to make a change, 2 state titles in 4 years, what does Mike Warfield bring first and foremost to the table to help make this program so special?
Well, Coach Spianic was a great coach. I played for him, so he was definitely a great coach. But what Coach Mike Field brings is energy. He brings togetherness. He brought the community back to the football program. That's what he has brought back. So we are close knit, and that's why we didn't have that family for the past 3 years on our sweatshirts.
But, Sean, it also seems like he's very good at keeping cool. That's what he talked about 2 weeks ago at our Coach's Corner at the studio when we asked him about getting behind McKeesport, and I'm sure it held true for Jersey Shore and for last week. And as he says, if the coaches keep cool, then the players will.
Yeah, he's well. I guess he doesn't get hot-headed. Like, he does keep his calm when things don't go our way. So just as the coaches, we come together, have our meetings or whatever, and we make our adjustments.
Zaire Clark was our CCBC player of the game. I guess we wanted to have the letter combination. CC for community college, CC for Zaire Clark. No, it had nothing to do with that. His catch near the end of the game might have been like the Beaver County version of David Tyree's catch years ago in the Super Bowl. How he came down with it is beyond me. And then the pass from Quentin Cheese Good over the middle, and he takes it down for another 25 yards or so. Those were huge plays. Those were difference makers. Vashon, was that did we pass the test given at the Zaire?
Yes, he's just been consistent all year in his play. He comes to work day in, day out. So we weren't surprised that he made those plays because, like I said, he comes to work every day. He works hard. I call him Jerry Rice because that's who he reminds me of. So I give you a thumbs up on picking him.
We are in the midst of celebrating 2 state championships, and it's great to be back here at Roberts Roadside Inn, where we've had countless championships. I think maybe the first one that I recall was when Aliquippa and Beaver Falls both won the state basketball championship. What a special weekend that was back in 1994. And Bob Skurlick and his group has been doing this ever since. Now we have Aliquippa and Central Valley. Never before have we had 2 football teams, Bruce. We're going to be looking back on this years and years from now.
No doubt about it, and I'm sure the attendants in the nursing homes will want to hear our stories.
We're going to take a time out. We got a lot more to talk about with Vashon Patrick of Aliquippa, Mark Lyons of Central Valley. It got a little quiet, I noticed. That's when the food was ready. So I know the guys are eating, but we'll get to them maybe after the next segment. We also want Mark and Vashon to have some of this great food prepared by the likes of Pizza Joe's and Beaver. Everybody goes to Pizza Joe's. You really came through tonight. My Heroes in Rochester. I guess everyone goes to My Heroes. Must be something about the O's. And Roberts Roadside Inn, the king of the wing. They got wing specials Wednesday and Sunday. They got their fish fry special on Friday. And don't forget, book your winter party here at Roberts Roadside Inn. Don't worry, it's going to get colder, but not in here, folks. The fire is hot, the furnace is burning, and the fire is burning. Have your party here in this cozy environment. We're going to take this time out. We'll be back after this break on WBVP, WNBA, and the new 99.3 FM.
Thank you for listening to a special 30th anniversary and reunion show edition of Coach's Corner live from Kelly's Riverside Saloon on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's multimedia simulcast is being sponsored by Kelly's Riverside Saloon, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Ambridge Italian Villa, CCBC, Gazzetti Optometric Service, Grand Valley Inn, and Beaver Valley Auto Mall. We'll be back with more memories from the past 3 decades right after these messages from our sponsors.
Rochester Smokehouse has lots of reasons why people choose it as their favorite place. For baby back ribs, smoked or grilled chicken, brisket or pulled pork. But it's what they don't have that really makes the difference. Here's owner Jeff O'Connor.
We don't have a freezer here at Rochester Smokehouse. Buying frozen product is easier and cheaper, but we don't believe that here at Rochester Smokehouse.
Fresh and never frozen ingredients make the difference. Get takeout or catering from Rochester Smokehouse, 419 Adams Street in Rochester, Route 68. RochesterSmokehouse.com. Open Thursday through Saturday 11 to 8 and Sundays noon to 6.
In order for a community to thrive, it needs support, encouragement, and somebody to celebrate with. For decades, the Wayne N. Totalovich family has embodied that same team spirit that has brought state championship success to Aliquippa and Central Valley. The whole family, especially Wayne Tatalovich Jr., who played for Aliquippa and now coaches for Central Valley, couldn't be prouder of the fine men representing both districts. Thanks for giving Beaver County something to brag about from the Wayne and Tatalovich family. One of the easiest things to take care of, yet the most often overlooked area of home maintenance, is cleaning out your gutters. Clogged gutters can cause all kinds of expensive problems for your home, especially once the snow and ice come. But getting up on a ladder or roof is dangerous, so call Skirlick Contracting at 724-775-5611 or visit skirlickcontracting.com for gutter cleaning, roof repair, and all types of home maintenance. It's Skirlick Contracting.
You can catch all the action of Pittsburgh Penguins hockey right here on Beaver County Radio.
Turn it over, it's Carter, a backhander, he scores! Make it 4 for Jeff Carter, top shelf in the right circle. And the Penguins up 6-3 here early in the third.
Pittsburgh Penguins hockey on Beaver County Radio is brought to you by Moon Township Ford, the Beaver County Transit Authority, St. Barnabas Friendly Federal Credit Union, and the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills and backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names. Whatever your heating needs, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today by calling Beaver Valley Sheet Metal at 724-775-7300 or by visiting bbsm1.com. PA number 3285. Bryant, whatever it takes. In order for a community to thrive, it needs support, encouragement, and somebody to celebrate with. For decades, the Wayne and Tatalovich family has embodied that same team spirit that has brought state championship success to Aliquippa and Central Valley. The whole family, especially Wayne Tatalovich Jr., who played for Aliquippa and now coaches for Central Valley, couldn't be prouder of the fine men representing both districts. Thanks for giving Beaver County something to brag about from the Wayne and Tatalovich family.
All right, we return to Robert's Roadside Inn. We're going to be talking with Coach Mark Lyons and Coach Fashawn Patrick of Aliquippa. And then we're going to bring some players on in our next segment, our special Coach's Corner celebration here at Robert's Roadside Inn, where they're gearing up for the holiday season. Make sure you book your winter party here at Robert's. Give them a call, 724-775-0200. Boy, is this fire. Bruce, you get some credit. You brought the wood in.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And Robert's got it. We want to thank Frankie, the bartender, longtime manager, and Bob Skirlick, both at the bar. Couldn't do this all these years without those guys.
No doubt about it. We are glad to be here. The longevity of this operation is certainly admirable, and we hope to be here for some time to come.
Fashawn Patrick. Fashawn, boy, I'll tell you, this might not be an easy question because there's been so much history at Aliquippa. I mean, you got two Hall of Famers, Mike Ditka and Ty Law. Darrell Rivas might be next in a couple of years. So many, 18 WPIL championships, 4 state titles. But what your team did this year, playing, you've been 1A enrollment-wise for many years, but to win a 4A state championship, could this arguably be the finest hour for Aliquippa? Arguably?
Oh, wow. Like you said, that is a hard question. I mean, not to take anything from any Aliquippa great teams, but this team really put the time and the work in. I seen it. This started last year when we lost to TJ. Our big guys got back in the weight room immediately, didn't take no days off, and everybody followed their leadership. And we really worked hard for this.
Yeah, but Sean, in athletics, when you suffer a heartbreaking defeat, you can take it one of two ways. You can go and pout, or you can do something about it. And you had two tough ones. You had the overtime loss to Central Valley, the year before at Heinz Field, then the overtime loss to Thomas Jefferson. But you are to forever be commended for bouncing back from both of them.
Yeah, and this year we had that overtime win against McKeesport, so we took going into the playoffs a little different. We actually practiced overtime things, and like our coach Colbert said, it's only a first down. It's only 10 yards, and that's how our kids looked at it this year. We didn't look at it, we had to score. We just only had to get 10 yards.
For Sean, you have so many players. We could talk about them all night long. But the freshman, Tyke Hayes, I know you call him Tykey, didn't even start at the beginning of the year, finished with over 1,700 yards, probably a freshman record in the history of the WPIAL. I'm sure you're going to say, being at running back is your specialty for coaching, you're going to say, hey, we knew he had talent. Did you have any idea he would be this good this early?
Yes, he worked hard at it. Like you said at the beginning of the year, he didn't even play running back. He played receiver. We had a couple injuries. And from youth league, we knew he played running back, so we moved him there. And he just excelled. A couple older guys took him under his wing, and the linemen, they coddled him and made sure he was doing the right thing and coaching. Actually, my younger cousin, Desmond Patrick, helps me coach the running backs. And then Tagi he put in the time, he put in the effort, and he worked hard for it.
But Sean, obviously your team does play great defense when they're on the field, but one of your best defensive efforts was in the third period when Bishop McDevitt, they had 2 minutes, 20 seconds time of possession because you ran that massive drive the length of the field. Our lasting memory of that is on the near side where we were broadcasting, is seeing that freshman quarterback, number 8, just standing there holding his helmet because he couldn't get in and do anything about it because of your offense.
Yeah, we just grinded out at some point in the game. We knew we was going to have to grind and get grimy, and we told 2-3 yards is a plus for us. As long as we get in positive yards and just keep driving, keep moving, and just keep moving the chains.
You beat a team with like an all-star lineup. Bishop McDevitt, their quarterback, yeah, he's a freshman, but apparently he's already gotten an offer or at least serious interest from Michigan. We're talking major Division I. They have a running back, Marquise Williams, that's looking at Pitt, Penn State, and Notre Dame. They have 3 or 4 guys who are in that major D1 category. So if anyone would say, well, look who they beat, well, they were just clueless, because I think your defense especially made them look ordinary in the second half. In the first half, they made more plays, but it seemed like as time took over, your defense took control of the game, and they made those players less threatening than maybe they were early on. Would you agree?
Yeah, we just had to catch up with their speed. We're a fast team, but we came out we was trying to overcompensate. Once we caught up with their team speed and they play calling, we locked in. Especially our junior safety, Donovan Walker. He played a great game, made sure everybody was on the same page in the secondary.
It seemed almost like Jersey Shore all over again, because Jersey Shore, I think the first play of the game or second went for 55 yards, and you wound up recovering. The same thing happened. McDevitt had a big strike early, but as you said, the adjustments were made.
Bend but don't break. As long as we score more points at the end, that's all that matters. Our defense definitely stepped in, and our offense played well.
Let's go back to Mark Lyons. Mark, I guess some news just came about Landon Alexander, now a 4,000-yard rusher. Doesn't happen that often in the WPIAL. I guess he just accepted an offer to Albany in upstate New York. And I know he was concerned about, where are the recruiters? Why don't they notice me? But would you say this is a pretty good fit for him?
Absolutely. And, I'd like to commend the staff at Albany with Coach Cattuso and Coach Byam. They came down to practice, and obviously when they sat and talked to Landon, they knew it was the perfect fit. They extended the offer, and then Landon left the state game immediately after our game. Got in the car with his parents, drove straight to Albany. He didn't even come back on the bus. He had an overnight official visit, and then, obviously he accepted and is committed to the University of Albany.
He'll always obviously be able to answer the question, what's the state capital of New York? Not everybody knows, but he'll figure that out.
That's
but
right.
Coach Gattuso, as we know, has been around forever.
Absolutely.
Since his days at Pitt and since his days at Seton, everybody in this table is familiar with him. And that's certainly a good pick. For me, I think they got a steal, to be honest with you. But
yeah, you know what? I could sit here and talk,
right,
for hours about the whole recruiting process and how it's such a disservice to the high school athletes, from the COVID extra year to these college athletes and the transfer portal. I don't know if many people realize the trickle-down effect is falling in the laps of the high school athletes. And these young athletes, they're scrambling and, it's when you start putting a dollar figure on it, Bruce.
Yeah,
it's cost them $200,000 if you look at it.
Colleges have 6 classes of students. They have 6 classes of guys on scholarship.
Absolutely.
There's high school class of 2017 guys playing, and even one. Trey Tipton is in his 7th year.
Absolutely, and again, listen, I get it, deservingly for the college athletes.
You had to keep them on.
Absolutely, and I get it, but. Again, something had to be done with the high school athletes, and it's just a shame what these young men had to go through. And it's a numbers game, and when you start dealing with the numbers game in any profession, it's a stressful situation. And what these families and young athletes had to go through during this time, where they might have had several choices, an opportunity to go visit other colleges, to expand their knowledge and make a knowledgeable decision. You have a lot of high school athletes today, they go one trip and they're worried they may not get another trip and they have to pull the trigger.
Along with WBVP, WNBA, 99.3 FM, we also have tonight's broadcast on Facebook Live. The players and coaches, they could go home and watch it tonight on our Facebook page. We'll see how good Mark Lyons and Vashon Patrick look on the tube. I know they look great. Mark, before the game, I know there was some question about the health of some of your players. And I know that your approach was, hey, it is what it is. Everybody has bumps and bruises. Now that the game is over and you won 7-0, what percentage, considering that he had 231 yards, what percentage would you say Landon Alexander was going into that game?
I'm glad you asked that question because I'm not so sure a lot of people realize what Landon went through during the week. And I'd be remiss not to mention Jack Bible, our starting linebacker and tight end. There's 2 guys that got nicked up in the semifinal game. And again, every team at this situation, you're playing your 15th game of the season. We were fortunate. We were healthy throughout the season. But, Landon tweaked the knee. He was stiff all week. We really didn't get him on a practice field officially until Friday. Same with Jack. I don't think Jack put a shoe on until Wednesday. That's the extent of the swelling he had in his ankle. My hat's off to both our trainers, Will Scherer and Liz Walker, who just did countless hours of rehab. We get to the hotel up at Hershey. We had almost like a triage room. So anytime we were not eating dinner or we were not meeting, those guys were getting treatment. And if you were to ask me on Wednesday, the chance of those guys playing Saturday afternoon, I'd probably say it was 50-50. For them to progress so much, again, hats off to our training staff, but also the commitment, those 2 guys. I knew if we can get them close, get them to the field Saturday morning, the adrenaline and the excitement would just kick in, and that's exactly what it did.
Right. Our hearts were pounding, though, when Bible went down, I believe, in the second quarter, but lo and behold, he bounced back and was out there later.
Absolutely.
In Alexander, you mentioned that, and it's true from the stat sheet, that Wyomissing had 115 yards total offense. Well, guess what? Double that, and you have Landon Alexander's rushing total.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty impressive. And Mark, speaking of the stat sheet, and Sean Mccreary never gave me mine back that I lent him after the game. But what we had was, I think, Wyomissing 3 yards passing, right? I mean, anytime they even thought about passing, Tanya and Fitzsimmons, they were just right there. They were just suffocate.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the game plan. I said this all week. If we were going to live in second and third and three with Wyomissing, that's not a good formula for us. We won on first down. We got them in some tough situations they're not comfortable with. And then obviously when we got them in third down, then it's a chance for us to pin our ears back, get us on our nickel package, and let's get after it. And they weren't built that way. You know, they went through 14 games, you know, having their way of getting chunks of yardage, and our guys committed to stopping the run. Again, I can't say enough defensively, collectively. You know, a lot of things are written about our front six, rightfully so. But I'm telling you, from a defensive unit, from our safeties to our corners, reading their keys, what really impressed me after I watched the film is you can get mesmerized by that offense. Everybody talks about the eye candy of all the motion. Our secondary, when they tried to run a play action, it's as if they knew it was coming. They were so disciplined and locked in. And again, that's a tribute to our coaching staff, getting these guys understanding their keys.
We're going to take a timeout. We're going to be back. In our next segment, we'll talk to a few Aliquippa players, and in the following segment, we'll talk to some Central Valley players. We still have a long time to go. We're going past 8 o'clock, that's for sure, because this is a special celebration. Thanks to Curtis and Keith Walsh, Mark Peterson, Frankie at the bar, and above all, Bob Skurlik for having us down here, the king of the wing. It feels like a championship celebration at Roberts Roadside Inn. And we'll be back after this timeout on Beaver County Radio, WBVP, WNBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live.
Work, kids, school, parents. Your life is busy. When illness or injury interrupts your busy life, Heritage Valley Convenient Care is here for you. Heritage Valley's 7 convenient care walk-in clinics are open every day with extended hours, easily accessible, and accept all major health insurances. And because convenient care is part of Heritage Valley Health System, your Heritage Valley physician can access information about your visit. To find a convenient care near you, go to heritagevalley.org. Heritage Valley and you, uniquely connected for life.
Rochester Smokehouse has lots of reasons why people choose it as their favorite place. For baby back ribs, smoked or grilled chicken, brisket or pulled pork. But it's what they don't have that really makes the difference. Here's owner Jeff O'Connor.
We don't have a freezer here at Rochester Smokehouse. Buying frozen product is easier and cheaper, but we don't believe that here at Rochester Smokehouse.
Fresh and never frozen ingredients make the difference. Get takeout or catering from Rochester Smokehouse, 419 Adams Street in Rochester, Route 68, RochesterSmokehouse.com. Open Thursday through Saturday 11 to 8 and Sundays noon to 6.
In order for a community to thrive, it needs support, encouragement, and somebody to celebrate with. For decades, the Wayne N. Totalovich family has embodied that same team spirit that has brought state championship success to Aliquippa and Central Valley. The whole family, especially Wayne Totalovich Jr., who played for Aliquippa and now coaches for Central Valley, couldn't be prouder of the fine men representing both districts. Thanks for giving Beaver County something to brag about from the Wayne N. Totalovich family. One of the easiest things to take care of, yet the most often overlooked area of home maintenance, is cleaning out your gutters. Clogged gutters can cause all kinds of expensive problems for your home, especially once the snow and ice come. But getting up on a ladder or roof is dangerous, so call Skurlik Contracting at 724-775-5611 or visit SkurlikContracting.com for gutter cleaning, roof repair, and all types of home maintenance. It's Skurlik Contracting.
Work, kids, school, parents. Your life is busy. When illness or injury interrupts your busy life, Heritage Valley Convenient Care is here for you. Heritage Valley's 7 convenient care walk-in clinics are open every day with extended hours, easily accessible, and accept all major health insurances. And because convenient care is part of Heritage Valley Health System, your Heritage Valley physician can access information about your visit. To find a convenient care near you, go to heritagevalley.org. Heritage Valley and you, uniquely connected for life.
And we return to Roberts Roadside Inn. And now we're joined by 3 of the state champions for the Aliquippa Quips. We'll start with the lineman, Jason McBride. Jason, first of all, have you gotten enough to eat? I hope that's the biggest question. Have you gotten enough to eat so far?
Yeah, I'm full.
All right, you're full? Okay, well, that's good news.
Jason, though, your defensive front has seriously caused a lot of trouble for opponents during the year. What from now that you can reflect on the whole season, what offensive line, what team gave you the most trouble this year, would you say, from your travels on playing defense simply?
I really got, probably McKeesport, because it was a pretty good game, a pretty tough and physical game for us. It was quick and fast, and
When you played Belverden, I'm sure you respected them. You heard a lot about Devin Whitlock, the quarterback. You heard a lot about Quentin Martin, the running back. Did you guys take this personal? Because really, Devin Whitlock probably had his quietest game of the season. And that's your strength, your run defense. Mm-hmm. But did you have a little bit more energy trying to deny Devin Whitlock? Did you kind of step your game just a little bit in that WPIAL championship?
Yeah, I think we did. We've been hearing about him all season, how he was going to run crazy on his 300 yards, 100 yards passing, and we came in with that mindset that he wasn't going to get nothing. And
Jason, in your game with McKeesport, we talked to Coach Mike Warfield at our Coach's Corner a couple weeks ago, and when you go overtime, teams typically go on defense when they win the toss so they can see what they have to do after the other team. But he said that a bunch of his players lobbied to get the football first. Were you one of them?
Yeah.
That's good.
As soon as it happened, I was like, Coach Mike, we got to go on offense first. Because 2 years before, we've been on defense first. They scored first, and I guess that basically stopped our momentum, and we couldn't produce no points on offense. So we just chose offense.
Do you ever have to tell Mr. Hayes here that, you guys are blocking for him. Now, he's had a lot of time on the highlight reel. Do you ever have to tell him, hey, Tyquay, you're very good, but if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be the hero like you are? Do you ever kid him around or give him a hard time?
Nah.
Jason, what an effort, though, in that state championship game. What was the mood of the team? We asked Coach Patrick, you're down 13-0. Was it like business as usual? Because you've got behind 3 teams in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
How did you approach it?
We approached it. We was like, we good. They scored first 2 minutes. We ain't worried about it. We gonna stop them regardless. We just got to produce points on offense and get it more stops.
Let's go to Sayer. Sayer, I don't know if you had a good view or not, but when they got the recovery on the kickoff after their first touchdown, I saw it on tape on PCN. At the time, I couldn't tell because our sideline, our view was obstructed, but it looked like he was clearly out of bounds. Did some of the people on your sideline really have an opinion? And if so, if they thought that he was out of bounds, how do you recover from that?
We just had to keep our heads up and just keep playing our game.
We were very impressed with your catch on the down and out by the pylon down near the end zone on the Aliquippa side late in the game. Can you tell us about that and how you outmaneuvered the 2 defenders?
I just knew that Chiefs had no other choice but to throw me the ball. So as soon as I walked up to the line, I knew I had to get this ball so we could score and continue our run.
Sayer, and the one that really did in Bishop McDevitt, the pass you caught over the middle, then you took it 25 yards or so. Sayer, what was going through your mind? I know you didn't have the game sewn up at that point. But boy, you had to feel pretty good. You said, I'm in the state championship game, and I'm running toward a state championship. You had to feel very proud at that time of the game.
Yeah, I felt very proud of what the team and what myself was doing the whole game, because we really stepped up when it was 13-0. We kept our heads straight, and we continued to play.
Sire, a week ago, in the game at Evansburg, you were down to Jersey Shore. Tell us about how emotional that was for you to get that late score in the first half, because you exploded after that took place.
I knew that I needed to come out for my team, and since it's my senior year, I had to do something for us to win. And I knew the team was going to stay around. They was going to keep pushing with me and fight with me through the whole way.
Sire, you're the senior of these guys. Jason's a junior. Ty Quay's only a freshman. Are you looking at any colleges to take it to the next level?
I don't really know yet.
You're not sure yet?
It's pretty early, that's for sure.
You still have a little bit of time yet.
Yeah.
Sire, you were our CCBC player of the game. You made 2 huge plays at the end. We want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
2 state championships. There aren't too many guys in Aliquippa history who can make that statement. Like 3 of you, maybe. That's pretty darn good. You have to be pretty proud of yourself.
Yeah, it felt really good when I finally realized that I'm gonna have 2 state rings and nobody else in Quip history really did that.
He's also come a long way too, because I think in 2018 he was listed at 5'6", 125. So he's come a long way in that regard also.
All right. Now, how tall are you now, Sire?
I'm 5'9.5".
Okay, that's good size. That's good size. Let's go to, do you prefer Tyke or Ty Quay, or does it matter?
Tyke.
Tyke, I'll tell you, when you got your opportunity, I know you had to wait your turn. You're the freshman, and I know you don't want to see guys get hurt. But boy, when you came in, were you surprised at how much success you had early on? Did it surprise even you how good things were going for you as soon as Coach Warfield called your number?
I mean, yeah, because, I thought my body wasn't going to be ready for, all this running and stuff, and it showed. I kept getting injured, but, the line, the quarterback, and the coaches believed in me, so that helped me a lot out.
Yeah, it's got to be, even when you were in youth football, they said you had a very good career there, but I'm sure you spent your time at the pit looking through the fence at what the varsity level looked like. When you were in 8th grade, did you think you could handle the next level?
At first, no, because I was a little bit shorter than I am. Then after I hit a growth spurt and I started working out, yeah, I knew I was ready.
Tyke, you had over 1,700 yards. You're only a freshman. You have 3 more years to try to add on to your legacy. Are you a little bit surprised even at the way this season has gone? You win a state championship. You were a big part of it. What are you going to do as a sophomore? What's your encore performance going to be as a sophomore?
Man, try to get 1,800 yards or 2,000 yards next year. I'm going to be bigger and stronger, have a bigger line.
And Coach Warfield says you're a 4.0 student. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Amazing.
Well, you look like the happiest guy in Hershey, though. When your teammates were jumping up and down, you went to about the 30-yard line and just laid down right on the turf. So that had to be, what were you thinking about at that point?
I just won a state championship.
Yeah, amen.
Before we let you guys go, Jason, you'll be back for your senior year. It looks like, unless your school wins an appeal, that you're going to be bumped up to 5A. We haven't really talked to you guys, the players, about it. Does that? I know it bothers people. It's and understandably so. You're a 1A school enrollment-wise. You just won the 4A state championship. What's your position on this? Does it matter where they put you? You just want to play football, or is it a concern?
I mean, it really don't matter to us. We're going to show up Friday at 7 o'clock, whoever we play, whatever age.
That's a good way of putting it, Bruce. Jason McBride, Sire Clark, Tyke Hayes, congratulations. You've carved your niche. Looking forward to seeing 2 of you guys continue on at Aliquippa. Congratulations. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the visit here at Robert's Roadside Inn. And we're going to take this time out. We're going to be back to talk to some of the Central Valley Warriors after this break on Beaver County Radio, WBVP, WNBA, 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, and on Facebook Live.
Rochester Smokehouse has lots of reasons why people choose it as their favorite place. For baby back ribs, smoked or grilled chicken, brisket or pulled pork. But it's what they don't have that really makes the difference. Here's owner Jeff O'Connor.
We don't have a freezer here at Rochester Smokehouse. Buying frozen product is easier and cheaper, but we don't believe that here at Rochester Smokehouse.
Fresh and never frozen ingredients make the difference. Get takeout or catering from Rochester Smokehouse, 419 Adams Street in Rochester, Route 68. RochesterSmokehouse.com. Open Thursday through Saturday 11 to 8 and Sundays noon to 6.
Work, kids, school, parents. Your life is busy. When illness or injury interrupts your busy life, Heritage Valley Convenient Care is here for you. Heritage Valley's 7 convenient care walk-in clinics are open every day with extended hours, easily accessible, and accept all major health insurances. And because convenient care is part of Heritage Valley Health System, your Heritage Valley physician can access information about your visit. To find a convenient care near you, go to heritagevalley.org. Heritage Valley and you, uniquely connected for life.
In order for a community to thrive, it needs support, encouragement, and somebody to celebrate with. For decades, the Wayne N. Totalovich family has embodied that same team spirit that has brought state championship success to Aliquippa and Central Valley. The whole family, especially Wayne Totalovich Jr., who played for Aliquippa and now coaches for Central Valley, couldn't be prouder of the fine men representing both districts. Thanks for giving Beaver County something to brag about from the Wayne N. Totalovich family. One of the easiest things to take care of, yet the most often overlooked area of home maintenance, is cleaning out your gutters. Clogged gutters can cause all kinds of expensive problems for your home, especially once the snow and ice come. But getting up on a ladder or roof is dangerous, so call Skirlet Contracting at 724-775-5611 or visit skirletcontracting.com for gutter cleaning, roof repair, and all types of home maintenance. It's Skirlet Contracting.
Highmark Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Allegheny Health Network are pleased to present a new show on Beaver County Radio called Heroes. Tune in every Saturday at 10 and Sunday at 12:30 for Heroes, a wonderful half-hour segment hosted by Jim Roddy that profiles many of the local heroes in this community. Click highmark.com for more information and then tune in for Heroes this Saturday at 10 and again Sunday at 12:30 on WBVP, WNBA, and 99.3 FM.
And we return to Roberts Roadside Inn. Looks like there's a battle back at the pool table. Is it Aliquippa versus Central Valley or just a friendly game? But I'll tell you, these two teams, now we're being joined by 3 of the stalwarts of the Central Valley Warriors. Jackson Tanya, who was our CCBC player of the game, because we get sick of giving it to Alexander and Fitzsimmons. So Jackson, a very deserving player of the game. Jackson, you've had to live in the shadow of Sean Fitzsimmons for a long time. But, and I think you have been a CCBC type player a lot longer than just last Saturday. But boy, did you save your best for last. Would you say that was the game, maybe the game of your career?
I would. Living behind Sean is it's an honor, and being behind him and learning what he can do and seeing him play, it's cool.
Well, obviously his presence helps you on defense. You had, I believe, a game-high 11 tackles. That was phenomenal. But also on offense, as Coach Lyons pointed out, you were an offensive tackle a year ago before shifting to center. But there were quite a few dudes you laid out, including this poor number 59 on Why I'm Missing. You sent him to his back about 10 yards down the field. So that's not living in the shadow of Sean Fitzsimmons. You did that on your own.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a name for myself. We preached emptying the tank the whole week and running our feet, so I was assuming I was sold.
I had the pleasure of meeting your father, Justin. Let me ask you this, Jackson. Who eats more at the dinner table and who wins in a wrestling match? I want to know. I want to know right now if you can give me that information.
He takes the win on those, but I'm trying to catch up to him.
Okay, all right. politically correct, if I could say it right. Jackson, you have your senior year to look forward to, probably in 4A, but we're not going to put any pressure on you. I love your jersey, back to back. But now Coach Lyons will be relying on you with the two guys at the table now going on to college football, Sean Fitzsimmons, Landon Alexander. I know that you're probably going to take it upon yourself to be even more of a leader because you got some talent coming back. It's not like the cupboard's going to be bare. Talk about what you could do next year.
Just improve my strength, my speed, and as a team, we all need to step up. The class 2023 just needs to really step up and become leaders this year.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. And also, people our age, we have a better perspective of things dealing with history. But for your own standpoint, what is it like to have the Beaver County record, 27 wins in a row?
It's an honor. It's pretty cool. Setting records like this and seeing history made in our presence, it's an honor.
Jackson, boy, I tell you, there's nothing better about a defense than pitching a shutout. The last game of the year against a team averaging 45 points a game. You were a huge part of it. That's going to be part of your legacy as a Central Valley Warrior. That's got to make you feel pretty proud.
I am. I'm very proud of that.
All right, let's go to Landon Alexander, who just accepted a scholarship to Albany. Congratulations, Landon. I know it takes a big lift off your shoulders because you were wondering when the recruiters are going to knock on your door and you got a good offer from Albany. Let's talk about that.
I mean, it's honestly just, at the end of the day, I got to thank God and thank the people that got me here, my teammates, family, coaches, friends, and all that who just supported me, kept my head on the right path. And I don't know, it's just a blessing. It is a big lift, big weight off my shoulders to know I'll be heading to the next level at a university that I decided I really like. So just got to thank God at the end of the day for that opportunity.
And again, you had, I think, 74 yards at the half, then exploded in the second half. When you line up there in the Wildcat and you know that the snap is coming to you, when you're trying to pick holes, did you sense that players on Why I'm Missing were starting to get beat? Because to us in the booth, it seemed like they were coming back to their defensive huddle slower and slower.
Yeah, it's just the type of offense I feel like we run. We run a really fast-paced offense, and like as soon as the play is down or like a guy hits the ground to get up, we immediately look to the sidelines for Coach Mark to get the next play call, and it's just constant. And you got guys like Jackson Tanya and Sean Fitzsimmons firing off the ball every play. I mean, they're going to get tired after that eventually.
Landon, you had 231 yards. Now, you told me the night before at the hotel that you were fine. How fine were you? Was it painful often to carry the ball on Saturday? I mean, a gutty performance. I know you weren't 100%. Talk about that.
Well, earlier, like in pregame warm-ups, I definitely wasn't feeling my best. But I knew that once the adrenaline kicked in, I told my running back coach, Coach Lair, I was like, I just need a 5-yard carry, just 5-yard carry, and I'll be good after that. I knew, like after that, I wasn't gonna think about it no more. Adrenaline takes in, and just from there.
What's it like being in the secondary against a team that average passes 5 times a game?
You don't get a lot of action. I mean, the way we had it set up, we knew we wasn't going to get a lot of action. They ran, obviously, way more than they passed, and we had the percentages of that. So we game planned to where us corners and safeties were going to be more in the run game this week.
Landon, you were the only player to touch the end zone in that game on Saturday. Your run early in the fourth quarter. I was ready to put you down after about a 7-yard gain. Then you just kept chugging along. I'm glad I screwed up. You went into the end zone. Landon, I don't know if it was your greatest run, but it was your most historic one because it paved the way to win another state championship.
I mean, yeah, it was just a great run. I mean, like I said, like you got to thank your line of the day. Like that run, that hole wasn't there at first, but when you got guys that don't give up on the play and just keep on blocking to the whistle, I mean, it eventually opened up. I watched the film, and I seen that I think it was Sean just came through, just drove his man right to the sidelines, and I just seen a little sliver. And
you mean Fitzsimmons had a block? I mean, that kind of mesmerizes me. He actually helped you score that touchdown?
Yeah, he normally doesn't do that a lot.
Obviously, I'm being facetious. Landon, looking forward to how you handle playing at Albany, the next level of football. We'll miss you on Friday nights at Sarge Albert Stadium and Hershey Park Stadium. That's kind of been your home the last 3 years. That's where you've ended your season the last 3 years. It's been a special run, and you've been a special part of it.
Thank you.
Let's see if the Panthers can't work something out with Albany to get them down to Heinz Field for a game. They've been there before. Let's see what might happen.
Let's bring in Sean Fitzsimmons. Sean, now you've won 2 straight state championships. You've won 27 games in a row. You just got the Bill Fralick Memorial Award. But I know you're going to tell me the highlight of your career was the picture that you got with the owner of Robert's Roadside and Bob Skurlick. How do you outdo yourself when we think you've gotten all the awards that you can and you get a picture with Skurlick? Tell us about that.
Oh, it was just awesome just meeting him. It was awesome to get a picture with him. Him and my grandpa, they grew up together. They had great memories. So it was great to meet him. And then I sent my pop a picture of him. He didn't respond yet, but when he sees it, he'll be real excited to see that.
Did he feed you enough tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, that's good to hear. We don't want an angry Sean Fitzsimmons. I'm over here off to the left. I don't want to be hit on the blind side, Bruce.
No doubt about it. But for Sean, when you guys won your semifinal game with Central out of Martinsburg, then you have to look at the bracket for Newman Goretti versus Wyomissing. When Wyomissing turned up the winner, was that good news for you because you had played them before, or was that bad news because you thought they might be tough?
Oh, it was good news. Either team would have been tough, but yeah, it was good. It adds a little intensity to the game because, a rematch. They're coming to get revenge on us for beating them last year. It just added fuel to the fire for us, and I like the choice of them winning and playing them.
Is Coach Narduzzi going to let you sneak out of Oakland on Friday night so you can watch your younger brother Brett dominate as a senior?
Oh yeah, hopefully he lets me out. I'll always love.
He can watch Tom Hayes online. That's the best way to do it. I'd pick up the Central Valley broadcast.
Sean, it's been. In all seriousness, it's been a deep pleasure to watch you, and we're looking forward. I don't know what your role will be next year. I know it's hard for a freshman to get on the field, but if any indication that you've given in your 4 years at Central Valley, I think there's room for you, Sean. You've been a special player. Coach Wool from the last 2 years of Wyomissing pretty much said we had no clue how to deal with Sean Fitzsimmons. And I think he made some mention of Jackson Tanya, and of course Landon Alexander got into the end zone. We got a lot of history at this table, and we're proud to have you, proud to have covered your games. And I'll tell you, take it to the house next year at Heinz Field.
Oh, we will. Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Sean, we were proud of you because where we are, there's a glass partition between us and the opposing Wyomissing coaches. And basically, when it came to the play of the game was on the line. They tried to pass, and you aborted that. The mic went dead in the other. But can you tell us about how that play evolved? I think they wanted to pass. Do you think that?
I thought they were going to pass on that or a toss. I knew the quarterback was going to roll out because I seen the guard. He was lined up deep. I knew he was going to pull, watching film all week. So I was like, the big tackle's going to come try to block down. I shot the gap and got him.
Sean, just the way you're talking right now, I know we see what you do in the opposing team's backfield, but probably your intelligence as a player, you always seem to be around the football. You always seem to know what that offense is going to do. Is that just a gift? Do your defensive coaches like Coach Tatalovich, do you talk to him a lot? How do you always seem to know where to be at the right time?
Some of that's a gift given from God, but it's all preparation. The coaches, we watch film every day preparing. We get reads. They give us a great scout report with all their keys and all that. The scout team in practice, they do perfect job mirroring them on the offensive side. It gives us great looks, and it all works out.
Sean Fitzsimmons, Landon Alexander, Jackson Tanya, you guys are a part of history, and people will be looking at what you've done years and years from now. We're proud of what you guys have accomplished. Keep it up. At the next level, Landon and Sean, Jackson, you still have another year to dominate teams here in Beaver County and beyond. Good luck to you.
Right, just like Landon as a second grader got to see Foster and Whitehead on national TV. That's what you're trying to do. Hopefully the second graders are checking these guys out.
Well, hey, Whitehead's, I'll put Whitehead in the same class with Landon. There's no doubt about it. I thought he was a pretty good player at Central Valley. No, he's special. Look at the history of Central Valley. A Super Bowl champion in Jordan Whitehead, another pro in Robert Foster, and then we got three guys. I don't know what their future's going to be, but they're going to do some damage on the football field. 2 state championships. Guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take our next time out. We're going to be back with the head coaches, maybe a couple assistant coaches. We're celebrating 2 state champions. Never been done in the same season in football until tonight. So mark it down. December 15th, 2021. It's the first. Hopefully it won't be the last, but it's the first. And Aliquippa and Central Valley made it possible. We'll be back on WBVP, WNBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live.
And now, let's gather around the fireplace while your friends from Freedom United Federal Credit Union recite this year's Christmas poem.
'Twas the week before the holiday, and all through Beaver County, people were preparing their shopping list, the kids hoping for a big bounty.
Trips to the mall and visits with Santa will happen with care in hopes that money in your account will soon be there.
And just in time to Freedom United Federal Credit Union you arrive. With a personal loan or home equity note, the holiday you'll survive.
And so it ends, another happy holiday. And the gifts, they're quite a sight. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Happy holidays from your friends at Freedom United Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Rochester Smokehouse has lots of reasons why people choose it as their favorite place. For baby back ribs, smoked or grilled chicken, brisket or pulled pork. But it's what they don't have that really makes the difference. Here's owner Jeff O'Connor.
We don't have a freezer here at Rochester Smokehouse. Buying frozen product is easier and cheaper, but we don't believe that here at Rochester Smokehouse.
Fresh and never frozen ingredients make the difference. Get takeout or catering from Rochester Smokehouse, 419 Adams Street in Rochester, Route 68. RochesterSmokehouse.com. Open Thursday through Saturday 11 to 8 and Sundays noon to 6.
Work, kids, school, parents. Your life is busy. When illness or injury interrupts your busy life, Heritage Valley Convenient Care is here for you. Heritage Valley's 7 convenient care walk-in clinics are open every day with extended hours, easily accessible, and accept all major health insurances. And because convenient care is part of Heritage Valley Health System, your Heritage Valley physician can access information about your visit. To find a convenient care near you, go to heritagevalley.org. Heritage Valley and you, uniquely connected for life.
In order for a community to thrive, it needs support, encouragement, and somebody to celebrate with. For decades, the Wayne N. Totalovich family has embodied that same team spirit that has brought state championship success to Aliquippa and Central Valley. The whole family, especially Wayne Totalovich Jr., who played for Aliquippa and now coaches for Central Valley, couldn't be prouder of the fine men representing both districts. Thanks for giving Beaver County something to brag about from the Wayne N. Totalovich family.
Even though asbestos cancer often takes decades to develop, by the time it is detected, it is often in advanced stages. If you are sick from exposure to asbestos, you're entitled to compensation for your pain and suffering. But a lung cancer or mesothelioma lawsuit can be complex and challenging, so you'll need the attorneys of Pittsburgh-based Goldberg, Persky & White on your side. They're pioneers in asbestos litigation. Call Goldberg, Persky & White at 1-800-COMPLEX or visit them online at gpwlaw.com.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge, broadcasting from the St. Barnabas studio.
And our final segment of this special Coaches Corner, again, thanks to Bob Skurlick and the great folks from Roberts Roadside Inn. And don't forget to book your winter party here at Roberts. They got the furnace, they got the fireplace. I'm hot, so will you be. And they got pool tables and darts and TVs, music. Great place to get cozy in the wintertime. Mark this number down, 724-775-0200. As we wind things down, we're going to be joined now by Sean Mccreary, a longtime assistant, even going back to the days at Monaca before the merger. Sean, you're the principal of Central Valley High School, and not too many principals are football coaches. How do you balance this out to make it work?
Well, it works well. I mean, working with Mark and the staff, I've been doing it my whole career coaching, and it just matriculated through the system from dean of students to principal. So I take care of my job first. I mean, that's obviously number one. And then we spend the time with the kids and doing everything we can to get them ready to go. I mean, it's been a good situation for us.
Well, then another role that he did not mention is parent. How does that go for you?
Oh, having a kid on a team. Yeah, that's a little different this year. Yeah, that's a little different. You know, he gets to live it all day, every day, you know.
And on top of that, you own your own business in Monaca. So I know when I have problems with my lawnmower, I just dial Sean Mccreary.
Yeah.
It's great, and your guys are great. And
I have good people. We have, and that's not just in my companies, but with the people at school and the staff we work with our teaching staff. We're very fortunate at Central Valley. Very fortunate.
Sean, you've been around a lot of good programs. This program, 2 straight state championships. That's rare. Only Rochester did that in 1A 20 years ago. 27 games in a row, the longest in Beaver County history. I know that state playoffs, we're shutting out a lot of teams that were great back in the 60s and the 70s and the 40s and 50s, but the 27-game winning streak stands no matter what era it is. Nobody did that until your football team accomplished that this year.
Well,
that's great.
It's a credit to our kids, and to be honest with you, what the standard has become for them. I mean, what they expect when they step onto the field and what they do in the off season. And they played a lot of football games in the last 3 years, going this deep into the year. And it shows with, I think, the development of the younger players. You know, it helps us bring those kids along that get to play throughout the season. Now, next year, you know what? You're the man up. It's your opportunity, and it's been good. It's been fun. I mean, someday that's going to end, but it's been a heck of a ride so far.
And certainly being ahead by 35 helps you in a lot of situations because it can rest your starters and get the other. As Vashon can attest, it certainly helps. But you're in administration. The word is out that supposedly Central Valley in the next enrollment cycle will be 4A. Do you believe that's the case?
Well, I know that the numbers are going to be recalculated. The number is going to come back out on Monday. I believe the 20th of next week. So we'll see where that falls, and wherever that is, and we'll go up. We'll do what we need to do to prepare for that schedule.
I guess that's a segue for Coach Vashon Patrick, representing Aliquippa tonight. Vashon, I know there's been a lot in the news about Aliquippa going to 5A, and some people want to appeal it, and others say, hey, wherever they put us, they put us. What you've already done is totally amazing. Personally, I think there needs to be an evaluation of the role. I mean, you chose a number of years ago to play up in 3A because you wanted to protect your rivalries with the likes of Central Valley and Beaver Falls and what have you. And now you move up to 4A, you win a state title, and now you might be going to 5A. Does it matter that much to you personally, Coach, what comes down?
It does, because it becomes the safety of the kids, you know. When you only have a roster of 30-something kids, one injury really puts you behind the 8 ball. And they plan in numerous of plays, you know, and that we don't want to put that wear and tear on them.
I think there's only 2 conferences in 5A, which theoretically you'd get lumped in with Moon, Bethel, St. Clair. I mean, these are some large schools. And again, you would just have to take it the way you find it.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely gonna show up Friday at 7:00. That's no doubt. But like I said, we mindful of the safety of our kids. When you only playing with a roster of 30 and they got 70, 80 kids. Like when we played Bishop McDevitt, they only had 2 or 3 guys that went both ways. Where we got 9 or 10. That just wears and tears on the body throughout the whole season.
Well, let's look at the positive. You already played 3 classes up. You win a state championship. A proud moment for Aliquippa, and your next door neighbor, Central Valley, wins a state title. There's a lot of pride to be in zip codes 15001 and 15061, and you'll always have that legacy. You'll always have that to look back on, Coach, and we're proud of what you and the Warriors have accomplished.
Yes, I mean, both programs worked hard this year. I kept up with them. And I just see the time and the effort that they coaching staff put in with their kids, and we did the same with ours. And you see the end result that we both made. We became state champions.
Yeah, and Vashon, again, there's also a healthy respect. You can't imagine the times up at Evansburg in that Jersey Shore game, how many people came up and tapped on the window, what's CV doing? What's CV doing? I mean, so the Quib fans wanted to know. They obviously had an interest in how your team did. I
mean, I done heard from both communities, and we, the backing and the support that, both communities supporting each other. I mean, I'm glad we both came out to be state champs.
Coach, I'm sure maybe you would agree that it turned out that Central Valley's biggest obstacle in this 27-game winning streak was winning against Aliquippa. It was a heck of a game, 21-12. But Aliquippa got much better since then, and so did you. And now you both get to share state championships. I know it came up in the Post-Gazette. Have there ever been 2 closer schools proximity-wise that won state titles? I don't know how it could be closer. Maybe, luckily, maybe as close, but not closer.
Yeah, I don't think it could be. I think it's remarkable. Was it 7, 8 square miles? I'm not sure what it would be between Center Township and Aliquippa. And they have that many great football players, and those kids all buy in, all dedicate to what the coaches are preaching and accomplish what they've accomplished. I think it's remarkable. And the same thing happened at Central Valley. Our guy would be announcing the Aliquippa score. You'd hear a roar. And that score went up.
No question.
Same thing happened that night. I recall it. Yeah.
In Vashon, on a personal note, there's a guy you guarded when you were at Kent State defensive back, and this guy played for Pitt. You got tangled up with him. He just retired from the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald. Does that make you feel a step older to see him retire?
No, I'm happy for him. Like you said, we did have some squabbles on the field, but he's a great player, and he deserves all the accolades that he's going to get.
Now maybe he'll join Rivas in the Hall of Fame. Boy, would that be a nice class. But maybe Darrell will get there a little sooner.
Yeah, he retired. I think Darrell's on target for January of 2023, which isn't that far away. I think, according to my math.
I think Darrell might have maybe a year or 2 left.
Yeah.
And hopefully that he get the knock on the door.
All right, guys. You have a great team coming back. Looking forward to seeing the Quips next year, whatever classification it's in. Sean, the cupboard's not going to be bare. I know you lose some key players. It's not easy to lose a Sean Fitzsimmons, a Landon Alexander, a Matt Merritt, just to name a few. But you're going to be in the mix next year because the program is strong and you'll reload. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the Powder and Blue can do in 2022.
Yeah, we are as well. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, congratulations again. Bruce, Aliquippa, Central Valley. We had the pleasure of being there in Chocolate Town to witness 2 state championships. What a weekend it was. And let's not forget Bob Pelko and Mount Lebanon, Penn Trafford winning the state. First time 4 WPIL teams brought home the state gold. But, of course, our focus is on Aliquippa, Central Valley. We want to thank the great folks for Robert's Roadside Inn, Bob Skurlick, Frankie, and all the good people. Wishing all of you a very happy holiday season. Curtis and Keith Walsh, Mark Peterson, and all the gang. We really appreciate everybody's effort. State champions, Aliquippa, Central Valley. That'll do it for us for this special celebration. Good luck Down the road, we have basketball coming up Friday night, Beaver and Hopewell, 7:05. Hopefully a couple teams will get to Chocolate Town in March. That'll do it for us. For Bruce Fry and the rest, by Barrick. But good night, everybody, and congratulations to the Quips and the Warriors on 1230 WBVP, 1460 WNBA, 99.3 FM, and Facebook Live. Happy holidays, everyone.